job.
Beautiful.
Polish,
Very,
like,
very
seriously.
beautiful. Praise Yah.
Yeah. Yeah, that
And
was
it was
beautiful.
so easy to understand and follow. That's the beauty of it all, too. Praise Yah.
But do you see
Very-
the intricacies of it all? Like, I'm not talking about you, but like everyone, do you see the intricacies of everything and how it's all woven in? And
Yes.
yeah, it's all scripture.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful.
You know what I noticed? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, Lee.
Coming out of winter, and that separation going into the 364, that reminds me of coming out of out of darkness into light, like winter's darkness,
Right.
and coming into
Right.
the spring, which is light. And the analemma reminds me of the sand timer, where you got the sand in the top part and it goes through the
Oh, yeah.
center part, drops down into the bottom,
Yeah.
and it just gets faster and faster as it gets to the end, kind of like a spiral, because you'll see that sand spiraling in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Like to see Yah's nature, like reverberate through all of creation and like everything. I mean, even like our fingerprints, it shows, Yahuah's nature, our DNA. Like if you ever looked at the DNA and it has that 10-5-6-5, Yahuah's hand is written all over it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I'd like to open the floor for questions if anybody's been writing things down, if there's anything you've not been able to cross off your list. There's a lot of people in here, so
Marissa, let's cut to the jugular right now.
go ahead. What's
The moment of how we decipher this calendar. So she laid out all the framework, which is fabulous, but how do we apply it now? So we see that Yahuah is the beginning and the end. And so he is that 365th day, which turns into 0 because he counts starting with 0. But he is what holds the first day and the last day together. And
Yeah.
so when we are doing the calendar, she has found that the equinox actually was on March 19th this year. And so when I know that's, and she could go into more detail on that.
Yeah,
but
we
it
can
was
talk about that.
Yeah, so it was the 19th this year, which it would make the 20th day 1. So we are following the correct format, but we just have to recognize that the 19th was the equinox, the 20th was the day 1, and we're still on the correct Sabbath, which is on Sunday.
Yeah, so let me add a thought in there. So the course of the path of the sun does go around the earth, and so there will be a place that's first, and there will be a place that is last before the date changes. And where that line goes out first gives us that equinox day. So it's not always going to be the 19th because it's where the line goes out. On those old maps, there's actually a line that extends out from the center of the earth and goes outwards. I don't know if like that 6 hour, like that 0.24 day, like that's what shifts these quarters. That may be true, but again, that's the sun's path going around the world. And that's why understanding the north holds so much significance because it's no longer about that like Eastern sign, or at least the day before, the day that the sun moves into the north connects with the day that the sun shines that straight line shadow from the east. And so it's almost like encrypted in that line. The sun traverses through the north in order to return to the east. So it's not making the north first per se when you think about like cardinal direction on the earth, because the sun does rise in the east on that day on that 90-degree line and makes this straight line shadow, but it coincides with that day that the sun moves northernly in its altitude. And so I know like the great debate has been, is it where we are or where Jerusalem is? It's where Mount Zion is. That's what it is.
Hallelujah.
It's where his
So,
throne is.
Marissa, so when you say where Mount Zion is, I'm sorry, it was a lot, guys, and I was driving, so I didn't get to write down notes, but is physically here on Earth or above? Were you
Both, because Mount Zion stretches to the heavens. So it's in the center of the earth at
So,
the quote North Pole.
right, it's in the north. Yeah.
in the north on the physical land or and
Yeah,
upward?
the
So,
center of the earth.
so when we're
The north.
tracking
So at the North
this,
Pole?
the straight line shadow, we should be pointing our sundial or whatever we're going to use toward the Polaris, correct?
Yeah.
Would it be Polaris? Okay.
It should be level. Yeah.
Level and pointed at the true or Polaris.
Yeah, because remember, all compasses do point north.
They do. Someone was telling me, this was a while back when I got that Qumran sundial, to point it to the east. I couldn't remember who told me that, but I thought we were supposed to point it to the North Star.
Yeah.
So that's why I was just double checking.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, I was wondering, does anyone live near Utah or Mount Zion there? That'd be interesting to get a timeline from there.
Well, couldn't we track the coordinates, the latitude with Utah, Marissa? Or
So, all right. So I'm noticing that the closer you are in latitude to the north, the more accurate that straight line shadow is going to be. So, like for Natalie, she's in Iowa, and her latitude is probably 40.
right, I'm 42.
Yeah, so hers is
Yeah.
probably 40 because she's above me, and mine's about 38. So, and she got the 19th at 38 degrees latitude. I got the 19th on my board as well. But Jerusalem is at 31. So it is
It's lower.
further from the north.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it is also, Faith Child has found that Jerusalem is at the end of the 24-hour solar day.
So where we were trying to do Creation Week, and we were using the equal lux, equal day, equal night in Jerusalem as our divider. But that's not the case, because that is, it's not a complete 364 day. It's merging into the 364 cycle. And so it's a circuit. So we can't be breaking into that. So the divider has to be 365. That's the problem I had with Ezekiel's key, is because the last thing that like kind of we were going over is 365 doesn't come before 364. So we can't be using equal day, equal night in Jerusalem anymore, because the
Yeah.
equal day, equal night is before the straight line shadow.
Yeah. And he's the set apart one. He should be the one that is, and he should be, but we should recognize him as, because he is outside of time.
So, are you saying that the straight line shadow day is, I'm sorry, day 1 or in
No,
between 364 and 365?
the straight line shadow is day 0.
Okay.
It's the division.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
in
so it'll
between.
be
After 364 and before
yeah.
1.
Yeah, so it'll be
Okay.
364, 0, then 1 again.
So straight line shadow day is 0?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, then you start counting 1 of creation week, or is
No,
that
no,
day
no, because
4?
in the Dead Sea Scrolls it says that the first day is the 4th day of the month.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I gotta wrap my brain about the
No,
first day. Say that again,
the
Katrina.
because
Fourth
it's
day of
going like it's day 3 on 364, and then you have the division of time, and then you have day 4, and because that's when the sun, the moon, and the stars were made, and
Right.
so it is day 4 on the first day after the equinox. That's how we hold our Sabbath,
Okay.
But
So
which is 3 days later.
but creation week didn't have a separation in it.
That's not the
Right,
standard.
but
Day 1 through
it's
3
not. Yeah,
happened before time began. Time began being reckoned on day 4.
Life also
Yeah.
you want
begins on day 4.
I'm
to.
following. Sorry.
So you're saying that creation week did have a split, which would be the divider day, which is the equinox.
Yes, that's what I'm understanding.
Yeah, let
Okay,
me put
What
so
he's saying, is that
let me
correct, guys?
hold on. No,
Show
guys.
show the
Let me put that
visual. Show the
visual up.
visual. Yeah,
Yeah, hold on.
so the
of the
equinox.
of the loop.
So the equinox, which is day 0, is neither day 3 or day 4 of creation week.
Correct.
Correct.
Right.
So that's
Yes.
why the Sabbath is remaining what we originally thought it was, but for a different reason.
Yeah.
Because of the straight line shadow coming in on the 19th instead of the 20th.
Yeah,
We
Sarah,
were
look at
thinking
this.
that it was the 20th. Wait,
Didn't a lot of
Marissa.
people get the
We were
20th?
Yeah, this is what I just want to make sure that people understand, is that because of the international dateline, whatever, people were going off of the 3/4 of the world, but it actually has to do with your longitude and latitude of where you are at, not.
Yeah.
Oh, right, Marissa? Is that
Yeah,
that's more
like
of
your
a
latitude
okay?
being closer to the north is going to give you a better accuracy for that
Correct.
straight line shadow.
Yes. It's what so I'm at I'm at like 40, 41, so I'd be able, if I
Yeah.
was to track it, if I didn't have a tree like in front of my house, I'd be able to track it and get the straight line shadow on the 19th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right.
Yep. So look at this picture, guys.
Oh, this is big.
Yeah, I'm not forgetting Creation Week, but it's that Creation Week already happened. There's nothing to suggest that we're supposed to annually rehearse this, because if he wanted us to rehearse day 1, 2, 3, he would have put the sun and set it forward on day 1, but he didn't. He did it on day 4. And
Correct.
so the sun has a 364-day circuit, and so it will begin on day 4 of the week and it will end on day 3 of the week. And then because he is the preeminence before all things, before those first 3 days of the creation week, the glory is really his. He's the one that holds all these patterns together in nature and also in the yearly cycles. So on this spiral, you can see on the 4th day of creation week, the sun begins its path and it loops all the way around. And then you can see number 3, which is day 364. But before it can continue into the next spiral, we have the head of days holding those together. Because if he didn't, it would abruptly stop and it would not be perpetual. And he is infinite. He is eternal. And so he is that synesthemi, that all things consist through him. He binds everything together, and then the next spiral begins on day 4.
I see what you're saying, Marissa. So maybe if my brain is thinking correctly, we shouldn't be using the word creation week.
Right.
And
I
where
agree.
my mind is going is that when we look at this picture, 1, 2, and 3.
It's outside.
So it would number 3 would be 364.
Yeah, the 3rd day of the week.
With every loop, do you see at every loop there's a 3, and then it breaks into the 4? So it would be in between 3 and 4.
Right.
I know it's really, really hard to see. You kind of have to blow it up in the picture.
Yeah, I am, and I'm starting to see it. The way my mind is figuring it out is that, right, so day 3 is, the orange
The
3
last
is
day of the year is day
4.
Yes. Last day of the year is on day 3. Look it says, so it says 364 on day 3, and then day 4, number 1. You have to blow it up a little bit.
Yeah, I can. I'm on my phone right now. It's not going enough.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's hard to see.
Hey, Marissa.
What if I blow it up? Would that work?
Yeah. So the head of days. So we were thinking the head of days was the start of the year, the equinox. But the equinox is the head of days, but it is not the start of the year. The next day is the start of the year.
Yes.
The 364 cycle.
Yes, it's the day at a time.
Yeah.
Hey, Marissa. Marissa.
Yes, Lee.
How does that work if the equinox moves a day forward every year?
They have the equinox, or they have the everything tracked in all the leap years. So
the leap years happen.
It's not that it moves forward every year, it's the Gregorian that shifts forward, right, Lee?
Yes, I understand that. I understand that. But even if you were on a Gregorian and you were counting 365 days, it would still be jumping a day forward, like every year, if you had a 365. So if it's a 364, it's still going to be jumping forward. I mean, the Gregorian calendar is 365, we know. But even if you had a 364, let's say you count 365 days and then count 364 days, it's still going to, the equinox still moves every year forward. Sometimes 2 days, sometimes what? Yes, it does.
It'll produce the leap year.
If
Yeah,
they have the leap years,
it will move forward. It will move forward every year. Every year it does. Like if you're going, just think of a 365 day. Okay, let's just look at the solar cycle for a minute. So if it's 365 and it moves a day forward on a 365, and it does, then how would that work just doing by 364? Is that's the only question I got.
Lee, it's not. No, the head of days is the day at a time. So we got 364 days, and then the equinox day happens, and that's the day at a time, and then you begin your count again the next day.
Well,
So
Marissa, why is the head of days on, now that you've blown this up, looks like the head of days is before day one. Is that day one of creation week or day one of the 364
day
cycle?
one of the 364 cycle. We need to throw out the term creation week because I think it's just going to confuse all of us.
Okay. So the wheel in a wheel, the multiple wheels concept, we just need to get that out of our head.
Kick it out.
That's what I told. That's what I told Aaron
I
Ryan.
repent
There's
of that.
no wheel within a wheel. There's one circuit. And I love the way that Marissa explains it. Yeah, it's perpetual, and it's like a roller coaster, and then you come back to the center and recalibrate, and people get off and on.
Yeah.
But it's not two wheels.
It's a circuit. It's
like
continuous.
Wait.
Yeah, it's not the
So
way
we're
we're
looking at
doing
this diagram, and it says head of days. And
Yeah.
from what I understand from your presentation, you're saying that is Yah's. That is Yah. He is the head of days, right?
Yes.
But is that
So
in this picture? You're saying that comes before day one, or I thought you were saying that is the straight line shadow.
Correct. Both.
Yeah, that's correct.
But
yep.
So is this just where you have it before number one, Marissa? Are you saying that it comes before day one, or are you just having that there as a logo? I don't know what word I want to use.
No,
it's true, Lisa. Like, so for example, the equinox being on the 19th this year, and then the next day was the 20th, is day one, and then you go all the way around, and then day 364 is now
Oh my gosh.
whatever that day is. I don't I need a calendar to look at it. I have the other chart. What, like, are you guys
My brain is
flipped to the other chart?
I guess what I'm not understanding is that the straight line shadow comes between day 3 and day 4, and we said that was the head of days.
It's the day at a time. It divides the years and holds them together at the same time.
Okay. Lisa, I think that was my question. It comes between day 3 and day 4, but that's day 3 and day 4 of creation week.
No, of
not
the week.
The 3 of the week, not the 364-day year cycle.
Right. And if I'm looking at this diagram, that's what I'm seeing, and I could be wrong and my brain's not wrapping it, but because I hear
guys, we're so confused with the two different cycles, and and it took me a while to recalibrate. Right, it caused it so much confusion. It looked nice, it made sense, and trust me, I had a battle out with Aaron Ryan about it, and she still, like, she only watched 20 minutes of Marissa's presentation, and she was just like, no, there has to be two cycles, there has to be two wheels. We have to alt-control delete that from our minds, because it hurt my brain to recalibrate over to what Marissa is saying. So literally, it's so simple. It's not as complicated as our brains once knew. It's so much more simple. It's day 3. Okay, that's 364. Day 0 and day 1, and that's the fourth day.
Day 0 is head of days, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So in my head, this little sun thing you have here, Marissa, that says head of days, to me, I want to move that in between day 3 and day 4. Am I incorrect in thinking that?
Well, it is.
It is. Maybe I can make a quick suggestion.
Okay.
Because we do see there is Ancient of Days and Head of Days. And maybe Ancient of Days would be a better placeholder for where you have that first Head of Days, and then Head of Days for the rest.
I kind of like that.
Because that's signifying Yahuah and his Yahuah himself. And then Head of Days is, of course, a representation of Messiah as well, who is Yahuah in the flesh.
Yeah.
So you would have two of those sun little bursts then.
Yeah. I agree with you, Jeremy. I didn't want to change the term because I think people are confused enough.
Do you think it confuses a little bit more? I
Hey,
don't
you
know. It
guys, I
makes
just
sense
call it
clear.
Abba's Day.
Abba's Day. That's good, Ellie. Yeah, it is. It is.
So if we were considering Creation Week, then the head of days, which is day 0, would be day 4 of Creation Week. But we need to throw out Creation Week because it causes confusion and it's not necessary to remember it. Is that? Do I have that correct?
Oh, that was a little harsh.
No. You have to throw the creation
I
week.
got to start over.
Yeah, the creation week. Throw it out.
Yeah,
It already happened.
It already happened. We're moving forward. We're
It
many years
happened
away
once.
from Creation Week.
Marissa.
Yes, ma'am.
So guys, this is how it helped me. I had to kind of like rewrite month 12 after the 52nd Sabbath, okay? Which is going to be the 28th of the 12th month. Then we have day 1, which is the 29th, day 2, which is the 30th, and then day 3, which is the 31st, the 364th day. Then you have 0, and then you have the start of 1, 2, 3, but it's the 4th day. Does that help?
And Sabbath is always going to be the 4th day of the 364-day cycle.
Yep.
Oh, that's going to blow a lot of heads, a lot of minds, because everybody's so stuck on, it's the 7th day. Well, it is his 7th day, but...
Of the week. It's the 7th day of the week, but it's the 4th day of the month.
Okay.
Yeah. Because we have days of the week, and then we have the dates that go with it.
And it has to be that way because of Passover needs to be on the 3rd day of the week. So you cannot start your year off with 1, or like being on day 1. It has to be on day 4 for Passover to be on day 3.
Yeah, and like I see that, guys, because you're like, yeah, but like so he was before all things, and then there was one, the first day of Creation Week, 2, 3. But he made the luminaries on the 4th day. So time has moved forward from the 4th day of Creation Week. And so once you get to the end of the luminary service of men, the full 364, the recognized glue that holds the years together and moves into the next is Yah. He is the preeminence. We're not having to recreate Creation Week every year. Creation Week gave us numbers 1 through 7. And so we're continuing that, numbers 1 through 7, for 364 days, but beginning on the 4th day. And so you get to day 3, and then there is a day out of time in the solar year, because we're supposed to only number our days 364. So really, the day out of time, the divider, if you will, and Yah's set apart day can only come after day 364 and before day 1.
And that's why I really like Enoch 77, because it really hones in that everything goes to the north to pass away. Days, months, years pass away there in the 3rd part of the north. So that he can reestablish it in the east, which is the 1st. That's why it's called east. And it's just so beautiful. And then you see the entire cycle right there in Enoch 77.
And that's what Ryan is having a problem with, correct, Miranda? She's saying that we want to...
She's saying that we're trying to make... Yeah, she's saying we're trying to make the north first. But we're not, because it does say that the east is first. North is just where everything ends and gets set forth from.
Yeah.
Right.
It's so beautiful.
Yes.
So that day that the sun traverses northward, now fully above that horizon line, is the day that it will cast that straight line. Like, think of it like it rises above that horizon line and then shoots a beam, puts its line straight out through all the earth. And that's our straight line day. And the sun has returned to the east. So those are coinciding like that, and the next day begins day 1.
That's it.
Because the next day, the sun is now back on the curve of time.
Right. Right. Right.
And the reason is the reason why the Sabbath then is on day 4 of the new year is because the creation week was already established, but we're not commemorating it every year because we don't
Amen.
need to.
Yes, because he already. Sorry.
Yeah,
It served its
exactly.
purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it
it.
served its purpose.
Boom.
Yep.
It's done. Now it's just a continual loop.
Yeah, and it has to
And
start from the 4th day because that's when the timekeeping devices were created.
And when life started, because you have, so remember, he had the, he separated the waters and the earth on the 3rd day and established all the seed and the Garden of Eden. And then when the sun, when he set the sun in the underneath the firmament on the 4th day, life was able to shoot up from the ground. So we do have life starting on the 4th day. Now, not the breath of life, but we do have growing seed that is able to shoot up out of the ground.
Yeah, because the sunlight is there.
Yeah. And then the next day after that, then you start to have the birds and the fish, and then so on and so on. But life starts on the 4th day.
Yep.
Now, not only that is that we can see the moon and the stars witnessing to this.
Yep.
And so when the luminaries are to set the years, it's true.
Yeah.
Like the sun is the ultimate, but the stars and the moon do witness. And we have the proof of that with the correlating measures between the equinox and the go ahead, Marissa.
And the north.
Marissa.
And the north. Yes. And, you know, and like this one brother I was talking to, Micah, I spoke to him about this, like the equinox. I'm like, well, you know, different parts of the earth, you know, that because of the way the sun traverses around and around like that, you know, the international dateline, it's not always the same. And he's like, well, you know, I think we all have to agree on the centralized point of reckoning time. And all throughout Scripture, we're seeing that the north is Yah's throne, that the north is Mount Zion, and this is in the center of the earth. And so we should look at that because that, when we did look at that, that was consistent. That was the same. And what the sun is doing is not going to lie there because it's the centralized point. The sun moves around and around it.
So explain the significance of the camp of the saints being there in the north. I mean, I believe that because
I was just going to say, Marissa, hone in on the little season aspect of it.
You know what? It is the camp of the saints. Mount Zion is the place that he gives to the righteous, set apart ones. It is our inheritance, and it is hidden from us currently. That is why there is a magnetic north, because that mountain is magnetic, and that is where they come from with black rock. That is why, and that is why Santa's in the North Pole. It's all mockery of Yahuah's set apart place. Now the camp of the saints, it's a term that I heard, and what's wild is that was not, like, just to bare my heart for a moment to you, family, that was not a topic that I was particularly interested in. I thought it was kind of like a little out there. I've seen people be a little crazy with that concept. And so I just kind of stayed away from it. And I've always said, well, I'm just more interested in the calendar.
They took
Well,
it too far
they took
sometimes.
it too far, yeah. And so oddly enough, in all the research on the calendar here, it affirms the Camp of the Saints. And it
Well, it's like
affirms
there's an
his set apart place in the north.
yeah. Well, it seems like there's an intersection there.
There
Why
is.
why don't you
This
get into
all
the
intersects.
mountains?
And it makes sense because, you know, that's exactly where they would have it. And
Yeah. It's
What about
alluded
those
to.
7 mountains?
Hold on. It's alluded to in a lot of things too, right? Like that's that Hegelian dialect, like everything's hidden in plain sight. And I thought about it. What about Frozen 2, where she's talking about the North, all in Frozen 2, and singing all about it, or like Santa, or in the Lord of the Rings, Erebor, they're going to the mountain. Like it's alluded to through all these secular
So much
things.
predictive programming. Yeah.
Yes.
So much.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So I know we don't know, I don't know day or time when Yahushua's coming back, but does this at all point to what day of the week he might be coming back? Or no, am I just thinking crazily here?
I kind of speculated that with Marissa a little bit earlier.
Okay, so I'm not thinking, all right, so other people had this thought. It's not just me going, well,
Yeah.
maybe just make some sort of significance to that in some way. Don't know.
Yeah.
And that when we're all then drawn.
He comes back on a day or an hour, like no one knows.
Right.
And why don't they know it? It's because, you know, maybe they're not looking at the calendar the way
they're
that
not looking in the right place.
Correct. Yeah.
So you think that we'll all be drawn to this magnetic north when that time is coming nearer?
Yeah, so think of this. Remember, it says that he gathers the nations to make war with the camp of the saints. Okay? So everything that's been happening has been, for a lack of a better word, gathering the people to deceive the people to make war with something they don't understand. I mean, again, like we talk about the shape of the earth, we talk about, you know, the Gregorian system we've been in. Every single thing that we have been lied to about is shaping us to fall for the delusion of who is going to be revealed and the need to fight him.
Chills.
Yeah.
Chills.
Yeah.
And the need to fight him.
Right.
Because the whole world will be suffered unto wanting to fight with the camp of the saints.
Yes.
But we are being pulled in that magnetic north almost. And
well, you know,
we're being drawn to that.
Yeah. Everything that has been will be again. And, you know, in the millennial reign, they were commanded to go to the city for Sukkot. And the nations that disobeyed, they wouldn't get rain for 1,000 years. So you look at how many huge deserts are across our world now that used to be lush green places on ancient maps. They were lush green places that are now deserts. And so there were a lot of nations who ignored that. And so, you know, we've speculated, well, where was the city during the millennial reign? Well, it must have been up there at the north. And so everyone that obeyed Yahuah would travel to the north. And so I think it was Lisa, you know, asked, are we going to be drawn up there? It looks like possibly so. That's where we'll be drawn because it happened before. If they were drawn there before and they were commanded to go to that city, and back then, you know, transportation was probably a lot better than it is today. We think that, you know, things were so primitive, but I think we're living in primitive times.
We're de-evolving.
Is this
for sure.
Camp of the Saints then? The magnetic place where the gate, that one video you shared with me, Katrina, where she says that like that land between, we say Alaska and Russia, that
The Bering
or,
Strait.
or is that the gate line or date line that she was saying, where that land has kind of been hitting, or they erased it from the maps?
Yeah.
They did.
Because how many
Where that
timelines
is?
are in that place? I think 7 timelines.
3 time zones.
3
Yeah.
time zones. Yeah.
Time zones, yeah.
There should not be 3 time zones according to our current maps, but there is. So they're hiding a lot of land up there, which, you know, Trump's been wanting to obtain Canada and Greenland, probably so that they can gain
Yes.
control of that land.
Yes.
And there is a border. It's not a physical border, but it is a international border that you can't go past. I forget what it's called, but they won't let people go up there. And so I think the elites obviously know there's land there that they're not letting us know is there. Anyone who has not watched that video from Leaving Babylon, it's about the strait is the gate, strait is the narrow way, and the camp of the saints. She's found a lot of information by studying ancient maps. I'll post it, or have you already posted it, Katrina, in the Telegram group?
Which one?
The one by Madeline about from Leaving Babylon.
The land of Jesus, but we'll just say Yahusha.
Please repost it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, even in the north, so like shipping routes, flight paths, all these things, they go around a certain longitudinal line.
Yeah, I'm sure they can't go over Mount Zion.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good point.
And
it would probably mess up their navigational systems.
Well, they can't go over it because it extends to the heavens, and like that was the whole thing with the Tower of Babel, right?
Well,
they're trying to make it reach the heavens.
Wow. Yeah.
Is that
so
the
Mount
place, the ice wall? Is that considered the same?
No, so that's Antarctica. Antarctica is the ice wall. The Arctic Circle, I guess, would be more of like the correct term for the northern part there.
And that's where that
big
treaty is. Black Mountain is.
I believe so. Because there is an Arctic treaty and then there's an Antarctic treaty. And coincidentally enough, all these nations that supposedly fight and can't get along, yet they can make treaties with each other about boundaries of where we, the common people, can go.
So why would they not let us go there?
Oh, because they say it's dangerous.
I mean, but what's hidden there? Well, we just explained it. It's that mountain in the north.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the south, they're hiding the firmament.
Yep. The bounds of the firmament, yeah.
Yeah. It's all to hide Yah.
Wow.
Yep.
All of it.
You know, that's why the flat earth is so important, and also the calendar. You know, a lot of people say, well, it's not that important. I think it's way more important than we've realized.
Yeah.
Because they're hiding Yah, and a lot of people are going to be caught off guard. I mean, look how many people this past week thought they were going to be raptured. They gave away their homes, their vehicles, quit their jobs, and they're just absolutely falling apart now because their lives are destroyed because of their foolishness and because they believe the lies. And so
and they will lose their faith. Yeah. And they're losing their faith because they thought something was going to happen that isn't, because they misrepresented or misread scripture and listened to those that also misread scripture. And this is where the wolves in sheep's clothing come in and everything.
Speaking of the falling away, that's...
Yep, the falling away. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow, this was great.
And a little testimony also to biblical cosmology. So here in Arizona, we can see when, Elon Musk launches his rockets.
Ooh.
And guess what they never do? they never go straight up.
No.
Nah.
They go
Well,
across the
do they
horizon.
curve?
Yeah, they curve down across the horizon.
Yeah.
And so,
Which is funny because that's the Disney logo too, Jeremy.
yeah.
The star going over the castle in the beginning of the introduction.
And Paramount's logo is the mountain.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Yes, it is.
Yep. Hidden in plain sight.
So
Yep.
Jeremy, you were talking about in Arizona you can see Elon Musk.
Well, when he launches his rocket, so I have a picture of it.
Okay.
And I was talking to Katrina that night. I showed her the video of the trail it left,
Wow.
I guess, because the trail stays like lit up.
That
It's
is
strange.
weird.
Yeah, and it lingered for like 30 minutes. But anyways, we saw it launch, or we didn't see it launch, but we could see it in the air. And Callan, my son, was the first one to point it out. He's like, "What is that?" And I looked and I was like, "Oh, it's another one of those Musk rockets." And we sat and watched it. And he was like, "How come it's not going straight up?" I'm like, "Yep." I was like, "That's exactly what I was about to ask." Because, and I asked him right after that. I was like, "So does that look like it's going up into space to you?" He said, "Nope."
Yeah. Jeremy, can you check the Telegram chat and see if anybody's like put any questions in there or anything?
So then, according sorry,
Marissa, I have a question for you since the cycle of years is up.
Yeah, who's that? Who's talking?
This is Greg.
Ray.
On the Gregorian year, the leap year was 2024, and on this cycle of years, you have the leap year on the 26th, which makes the Sabbath on a Tuesday next year. I just wondered how you on that loop thing you had. Should the fourth loop have the leap year in it or not?
Yeah. I would say it does. I don't think there was 4 loops there, and I don't think I added that in like before the 5th. But yes, because like the pattern is replicable. Like if you guys look at this, look at the head of days. I'll just use that as an example. It goes 20, 19, 19, 2020, 19, 19, 2020, 19, 19. So for 2 years, it'll be the 19th. For 2 years, it'll be the 20th. And then it just keeps like rotating. So there's a consistent pattern here. Like that 364th day in the north has a pattern to it. So like you'll see like it's like 319 2019, and then the 18th the next year, the 18th the next year, and then the 18th and the 19th, like that, and then the head of days. So it'll be 19 18 18 18 19 together. So and it keeps doing that year after year after year, that pattern.
So did he say that the Sabbath next year will be on Tuesday?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, now I got to wrap my brain around that one because I'm not. It's not that so it's not Monday like we were thinking. Okay, so it'll be Tuesday.
Yes. Yep, it's Tuesday next year.
I got to figure out. I'm not connecting that yet with this pattern.
Take a picture of this one, Lisa. Take a picture of this. Because I know everybody has schedules and everything, and I just felt like this was important to give you guys, like the next 5 years ahead of us, like when the first Sabbath of the year is, so then you can figure out those feast days and Sabbath days and everything.
Yeah, it's about that time we start getting self-sufficient and doing our own businesses and stuff like that, because relying on a Monday through Friday 9-to-5 job is not going to cut it with Sabbaths. So I know I've been learning how to plant and forage, and we could do stuff like that, but like now's the time to really consider just trying to get out of those jobs. I know it's tough, but he gives grace and mercy, but
Yeah.
it is
Ray,
what
did
it
I
is.
answer your question?
Pardon me?
Did I answer your question, Ray?
Greg.
Yeah.
But
Greg?
Yeah, I was just
Sorry.
confused on like the Gregorian had the leap year on 2024, I believe, and you have it on 2026. How do you come up with the 2026 compared to theirs? I'm not sure.
So this is calibrated to what the sun's doing in the north, basically. Like you can see the 364th day in the north because the sun will only be partially above the horizon line. And then every 4 years, it will do that 2 days in a row where it is partially above the horizon line for 2 days in a row. So that's how you can know when the leap year is.
So pretty much, Greg, we're not doing like Gregorian weeks. We're not doing like the Gregorian leap days. They have it off. We're doing his leap days. We're doing his Gregorian, or not. We're doing his weeks, not the Gregorian weeks, essentially.
Yep, I understand that.
Yeah, Greg, another thing that kind of helped me with that is when, again, when we think about the Gregorian calendar and the leap year, they count from January to January. And so every 4 years, that February, they're just going to add a 29th day in it.
Yeah.
And we count from equinox to equinox.
Yep.
So, yeah. I don't know if that helps.
Yep, I was really happy to hear. I was happy to hear about the head of days 0. Now I got that completely. That's in my brain well. So thank you.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Does this mean that, the calendar beads people are using, does that still work?
The calendar beads? No, because they're putting the void day before 364. They're putting it on like 360.
Yeah, so Jimmy from Ambassador of Yah's calendar bead situation won't work. No.
Yeah, maybe somebody in our group can make their own beads, Katrina.
What about that pegboard?
Yeah, right.
Marissa.
I didn't realize he was putting it before 364. I don't understand how.
Before he did make some beads that had it there. So there are older sets
Ones are
where he has
like,
it there.
Jeremy, your calendar that you have, we have to reconfigure that? Like the paper?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're going to do that for us?
Yeah.
He will.
So it's going to be the same dates for the remainder of this year. So.
It'll be the same.
But what I don't know if you explained it or not, Marissa. But can you explain more about how Jerusalem would be last on the with what you were saying? I don't know how to describe it. Sorry.
No, that's fine. So I don't know if you guys know who Faith Child is, but he has been assembling all of the data from people about the equinox dates. And the first time I heard of him was at the beginning of this biblical year, where he was putting in all the equinox dates from across the world. But what he's been trying to do is figure out where that international date line is. Like, where does the sun's 24-hour day begin on Earth? And he, as far as I know, he believes it begins somewhere in Africa, which I don't know like where on, like, say, like the Africa continent, where that line is drawn across. But what that really tells us is that Jerusalem is towards the end of the 24-hour period, at least, within the last 3 or 4 time zones. I don't know where the time zones are divided, sorry, but that's why they would be at the end of that 24-hour period. So I don't know if that's just like for this year and like that international dateline moves, a bit. It could. But yeah, and it only does that because like the sun has to enter in at some point into like its next day, if you will. And that was kind of what Adrian's drawing was showing us, like how it'll move through the portals and it'll stay through in those portals for 30 or 31 days at a time. But there's like a connector line, if you will, into the next portal. So yeah, that's just the theory on that. But Faithchild would have the best idea. I put it on him. He would have the best idea of where that international date line is. And I'm very curious about that as far as syncing it up with the head of days on this chart. Like which location is going to see the straight line shadow on the head of days on this chart. I want to know which location on Earth, like which quarter of the world is going to see these dates. And so maybe there is a pattern in that too. That would be cool.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And Sister Faith has a question here in the chat.
All right, what'd she say? Just because I have my screen share up.
So, for the moon, when we are able to see it in the daytime, though it's showing across the world, while it's day for us and night for them, is it like the sketch showing that the moon is in a specific portal highest north at that time? If you want to come up, Faith, then maybe feel free to ask.
I think the moon's going to be seen in front of that, like that position in the sky. All throughout the world, like when the location does see the moon, they're going to see it in front of that constellation. I don't know if I'm understanding her question correctly.
Yeah, I wasn't quite understanding.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah, we're actually out, so that's what I'm trying to do with my chat. I'm sorry for the confusion. I'm asking, like in the daytime, when the sun is out and we're able to see the moon, not when it's like new, but usually when it's full. The chart that you had where it's showing the sun's position and it's going higher north, which would be, directly above. It's more so how is it that we're able to see, thank you, how we're able to see the moon in the daytime where it's also showing like on the other side of the world at the same time where it's night for them. I'm just trying to understand the moon's location and which portal that we're still able to see the same moon that they're looking at, but it's nighttime for them. But we're able to see it. I hope that makes sense.
Well, I think that those moments in time are they're happening at the same time. It's just that the sun is not on this side of the world, so we don't see the sun. But if we're gonna see the same moon though. But the moon moves through the gates too, just like the sun does. So
just a lot faster.
Yeah.
I meant through the constellations, not the gates.
Well, even
or is it either or?
It does move through the gates faster
too. Okay.
Yeah, and I think it actually goes backwards too.
I think so too, because it talks. Yeah. So Enoch also talks about that she goes a very peculiar course, and she does kind of just she goes to and fro. She just goes to and fro, doing her thing.
Yeah. Okay, hopefully everybody's gotten a screenshot of this picture. Does anybody else have any questions?
Guys, now is the time. Don't hesitate. There's no stupid question. Just please lay it on air. Sorry.
No, or like if you think of anything else later, you can always reach out to me.
Marissa,
Yes,
it's
ma'am.
Cam Lambton. I forgot about the chat. I would have posted this sooner. But anyone that thinks that this calendar doesn't regard Creation Week, because we start on his day 4 and our Sabbath is 3 days later, it is his Sabbath because he started it and we are observing it every single week. So are we not commemorating Creation Week every week?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to throw that out.
That's a great point. Yeah.
Yeah, just not like the restart of Creation Week, basically for like the beginning of the year. But yes, absolutely, we are still.
So it's still the 7 days of unchanging, cycle. However, it's not the way that we did it once when it came to the divider day before Creation Week, holding Creation Week, which made beautiful sense, but that's just not the way it is. So it's still Creation Week. There's still 1, 2, 3. He's the division. And then there's 4, 5, 6, 7. There's still 7 days continually. But there's a pause that separates day 364 and day 1, just like he separates the seasons with the intercalary days. Does that make sense?
Yes, totally.
Awesome.
Yeah, and those intercalary days though are part of the service of man, because they divide the seasons for us, and the sun cycle is that 364 days for the service of man. So that's why that day in between 364 and 1 is that day out of time that's set apart, honoring Yahuah and his preeminence before all things.
And with all due respect, with Jackson Snyder and the way that he did things, he was just pretty much, his method was that there is, a few different calendars, but there's a calendar that is just for the feasts, and that once that feast day is ended, that's when you just stop the calendar and you restart again. But again, scriptures say emphatically to make sure that the year is 364 days, not stop after the last feast and continue on to the next. And that's where I would disagree with our late brother, Jackson Snyder. Having the day 364 is essential to finding the division of time in day 1. So I just wanted to throw that out there too. That's really important.
Yeah, and to add what Katrina said, with the feast days and everything, Jubilees does say that his 7th day Sabbath, which we, do every week, is more important than any of the other feast days. They're all important, but he said that one, because it was the first one he ever established as a day of rest is more important. So, yeah. And so, and that Sabbath we know is throughout the year, 52 Sabbaths in every year, 7-day Sabbaths in every year. So it's essential to do the years 364 days only with 52 weeks of Sabbaths in it. And that constitutes a complete and total year.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Marking our days off to 364, knowing where that 364 is, equal day, equal night, pretty much. And the division of time shows us day 1. And I think it's much easier. I think it's so more simplistic. I tried to, dumb down the 2 cycles for so long, and it really seemed easy for me, but it just wasn't the case. There was still the solar cycle that we needed to understand. And so it's important that, we don't set our ordinances. We have to follow his. And I think Marissa has done a fabulous job of setting up his ordinances so that we don't have to rely on our own.
Hallelujah.
Yeah. Hallelujah. And just before we close, I just want to make a recommendation. Maybe you can adopt something I've decided to do moving forward, but in every concept that we hear or information we come across in situations in our life, in how people act, in the progression of our lives, just in all things, our moral compass needs to be, does this reflect the nature of Yah? And if it doesn't, then it's false or meant to misguide you or incorrect. Any one of those 3. It needs to match the nature of Yah. If somebody's spirit does not align with Mashiach, then it's not the nature of Yah in how they're acting or speaking or being. And if a calendar concept requires a level of mental gymnastics and requires man's ordinances to make it, quote, right, then it's not the nature of Yah. The nature of Yah is cyclic. It continues for eternity.
It has to be so simple a child could understand it.
Yeah.
And we are all children, and we really have to stop making it so difficult on ourselves. You can take a look at the lunar phases. How ridiculous sighting a moon for a month, depending on, other people, the land, all those,
Is the
it's just,
barley ripe in Jerusalem?
right?
Let me look online.
No, it should be where we are at. And that's what I loved about when Marissa came out and she said, well, I tracked the equinox and I knew the date, and she scrubbed it because she thought she was screwing up. She was second guessing herself, but she was right. She did it correctly. And, we can't second guess, of course, we all have times where we get stubborn and prideful and, loud and whatever, but we really, we have to bring it back. I was just back and forth with Aaron Ryan, and the fruit of that was absolutely disgusting, absolutely putrid. And I want no part of it. But, I poked the sleeping bear, if you will, and she was really upset with me. And so,
You flipped her table, Katrina. She didn't like that.
I did flip her table. I asked her a couple questions she couldn't answer. And so I said, just please, just watch Marissa's video. And she got only through like 15 minutes of it. And today I like watched that 15-minute mark. And if she would only just push through 10 more minutes, she would have gotten it. But she stopped because literally of her take on biblical cosmology, she just couldn't compute the situation of the North. And so that's why we kind of got into it today. And she challenged me to a duel. And I was just like, wow. I was just like, why couldn't we
Her
just like
words,
go
not
back?
Katrina's.
Right. Her words, she challenged me to a duel. Like, let's type out 10
Let's duke it
questions and
out.
let's
So she
duke it
doesn't.
out.
So she doesn't believe in biblical cosmology then?
No, the earth is round to her.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're never going to see this truth if you believe
So,
in the globe. You won't see
Never.
it.
see, Sarah? See? And so, like, my first reaction when, like, me and Marissa and Jeremy were talking about responding was just like, we will absolutely, have this out with you when you see biblical cosmology, because that's literally what it's going to take. Otherwise, it's pointless.
Yeah, it's true. It's,
It,
very
you,
important.
we can't understand the North and the multifaceted 3D dimensions of the North and understand, because the way that she wants to do it, well, East is not last and North is not, whatever she wants to say.
Yeah, she gets stuck on the cardinal
Yeah,
points, like the 4 quarters, the
right,
cardinal, the transverse north. She is
correct.
stuck on that, and she
Yeah,
doesn't see it in 3D. She's like,
right. Because she's not on that transverse, that flat plane. She's on that.
oddly
Yeah,
enough.
yeah. Ask her about Polaris, and then.
Yeah, so
Oh, that's too
um
bad.
Yeah, so that's why like it got so heated. It's because I just started poking her in places that she didn't want to address inside of her spirit, I think. And so when she watched Marissa, because Marissa's presentation was so solid, so when she got to the 15-minute mark, it really hurt her soul because she couldn't get past what.
yeah, we have to reserve the right to be wrong, and
Always. Yeah.
like what that really means is like you got to be able to hold space for people. So if you have a calendar concept in your brain and you want to hear somebody else out on theirs, you need
Yeah.
to be able to take your understanding and
Mhm.
literally set it aside and
Ooh,
step into their shoes for a moment, into their logic, and try to understand them. We
she's
can't.
incapable. She's not
Yes, she's
capable of that.
incapable of that. And we cannot come to each other and say, oh, let me hear you out. But then you just listen to respond.
Well,
You
that
just
that
listen.
happened. That happened with me and you. Remember when I was just like, "Well, what are we gonna do with Creation Week? Like,
Right.
what week of
It's
day
just like,
4?"
it's like Robert with those aha moments,
Yeah.
it's like stop, like
Right.
just set yourself, can you get out of your own way and set yourself aside for a moment and
Put
hear out
your.
your brother or sister in Messiah and what they're trying to tell you, because you do not know everything.
Nope.
And I will just say, I don't know everything, guys. There are parts in this whole teaching that I shared where I was like, listen, I'm still searching this one out.
Yeah.
I would like help with that.
Yeah.
So I stood corrected on our
Yeah.
previous understanding. And like we have to be able to humble ourselves in
Yes.
that way. To
We
Put
say,
our
gotta.
drink
please, Abba,
aside.
correct me when I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
Because
Yes, which
we're never above error.
Never.
Never.
right. And if this experience taught me anything, it taught me that, we really have to be diligent in looking at each other's work too. Because, when we're staring at something forever and forever and forever, we don't have fresh eyes. We don't have a different
Fact checking
perspective.
it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Fact
And
checking it.
we have, yes, and we are
But
all a
well,
body. And
That's the thing. We have to have more hands on deck for accountability. We can't be a group that says, oh, well, Jeremy is the leader, so we're just gonna like shimmy after everything that he says. No. Or Marissa is the leader now because she seems to have it figured out. No, we all have to have our oil, our lamps trimmed, our wick ready, our fuel. Like, we need to have everything ready. You cannot rely on just a group, an individual. You have to get this information for yourself. You cannot go and buy and trade this information. You cannot rely on other people. I relied on Aaron Ryan for way too long. And it stops here. And it's so crazy because I found her in so many different errors. And I was just like, I just kind of put it back. And like, Jeremy's like, well, she's been tracking it for like so long. She has to be correct. But honestly, she's not. She's not correct. She manipulated data. She manipulates the scrolls. She uses extra biblical books. She, manipulates like one of our main concepts of Enoch. And so honestly, guys, we have to be able to do the work ourselves. That's what I've learned. That's my journey. It's like Marissa helped me walk through it because of the data that she preserved, that she literally walked us all through. I said, no, Marissa, you're going to show me exactly what's going on. And she did. And so that's what it's going to take. When I went to Aaron Ryan and I said, yeah, but the Dead Sea Scrolls doesn't say this. And you said it says this. And then she ignores you? No. We like, that kind of stuff can't happen anymore. We have to be more diligent in fact checking everything because it is our own salvation. And this is our testimony, and we are the bearers of Yah's witness. Okay? So when we step out there and say, well, Sunday is the Sabbath this year, we are bearing his witness. We better make sure that it's correct. Because Ezekiel's key kind of had me, all right? I studied Ezekiel's key, but they were off. They were off. They're using the Gleason map a little.
Yeah, they're again, they don't understand like the three parts of the North.
Right.
So, like that's huge. Like
Mm-hmm.
understanding that and then like where North is
Yeah.
in reality.
Yeah.
That's like the biggest takeaway of all this. And so, my brother Micah, he said, we should all agree on some central point. That's the place. It's Mount Zion.
Right.
That's, Yahusha said, I go and prepare a place for you. He also said, my kingdom is not of this world.
Hallelujah.
So it is the guard of righteousness that comes down from the sagittal north, from northward onto that top of Mount Zion. It is the camp of the saints. It's all the same place. It's his throne. It's his abode of glory. This is it ripples throughout all of Scripture, and his nature does the same thing, and it ripples throughout all of his creation, and we can see those patterns and everything. It is so beautiful, guys.
I got the chills.
Yeah, and so I appreciate, especially like the last 10 people here listening to us talk. I really appreciate you guys hearing me out and holding space for me. I don't expect anybody to agree with me, but I do think that we should love our neighbor as ourselves, and we should hold space for each other and hear each other out. And if I do end up gaining some brothers on this journey with me on Yah's luminary calendar, then I'll be very blessed.
Praise Yahuwah. Yeah, thank you for coming and presenting. It was amazing. And we're almost at the 4-hour mark, 3.5, but we can close out in prayer if you like.
Sounds good.
if there's no more questions or anything.
Ooh, yes, Jeremy. And if I could just make one side note, if there are questions, we need questions. That way we can look for answers.
Yes.
There's so much that goes into this. Like Marissa was saying, there really is so much more. Like I feel like we've just touched the surface with this. There's every day that I'm putting keywords into the Blue Letter Bible app to see what scriptures are being referenced, and it's amazing what comes up. Things that I've just never thought about before or honed in on before. So, guys, this is
Miranda, I was just thinking, just put a questions tab for in the group, and
yeah,
just
that's a good idea.
only because like if you like private message like either one, I think it kind of robs us of like kind of considering all
Yeah.
the different things and kind of hashing it out all together. I would like this to be more of a group effort. You know, Marissa did a lot of the work. Miranda and Natalie did a lot of the legwork. Now it's up to us to start taking accountability and to test it and to confirm it. I think a little bit more. We really have to be held accountable. This group is not hanging on Marissa's words right now. Just like hanging on Sean Griffin's word or hanging on Kingdom in Context.
Yeah.
We are a group of, we are going to test it out until we get it right. And it's called iron sharpen iron until we iron out all the cracks and crevices. And that's what I think that Marissa did do. And that's what I love about this group, that, you know, we all gathered, is just that we are willing to test it all. If you could put aside the Sabbath day, look, your family, like the Saturn's Day Sabbath, and you're willing to dig, like that's super cool. But you don't sit by and say this is just too complex for me. No. He made it so easy. We were making it so hard. Really, we were. We were making it way too complex. And this is super, super easy. It's like a roller coaster ride. And it resets in the beginning.
Yep.
Day 3, day 0, day 4, the loop continues. It's really so easy. It's it's wonderful. So I think we should start a questions or comments tab of like, or what we could add to this, because I
Yeah, I
know
love
all
that.
of you have something to add to this, which would be phenomenal. I want this to be a group effort because we are a body
Yeah.
in this little season of deception. We
I have
are a body.
a
Go ahead.
suggestion. Like when we started our family 9 months ago, I think now, or 10 months ago, we just started to talk about like when a day began, right? I feel like when Jeremy
Well,
started presenting stuff, I'm just saying that, like, I feel like every time we got together on Shabbat, like we went over and over and over the like when a day began, or we started looking at a new calendar, because I think
kind
there's a
of.
lot of pieces here, right? Moon mansions or moon cycles and stars that and maybe it's Wednesday nights Bible study together, or this calendar study together instead of on Shabbat, or on Shabbat, doesn't matter to me, because I feel like I need to hear this like more than once tonight. It's a lot of information and I see it, but then there's so much more that I know I have questions about.
You know
The
what?
8 hour glass, like if we break it down and can sometimes focus on just one aspect of it to really wrap our brains around it, like in a study where we break it apart, so to speak. I don't know, for me, because it's a lot all at once. I see the
Well, when you're
beginning, day one,
when
two, three.
Lisa,
Mm-hmm.
like when you're not really that focused, so like when you're in that realm of like you're driving or you're not looking at the scriptures, because we
Yeah,
have to
I
remember the
agree.
scriptures are a living word. So like when you go through this presentation, just be mindful of making space for him and having the Ruach present for you to be able to open the book, look through it, and then
Mm-hmm.
ponder it in your head and look at the words, because I'm
Sure.
telling you, you'll get more understanding. Because every time, like, I'm still listening to Marissa's first spiel.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Jeremy said that he's gonna put the presentation on YouTube, and I asked him to cut the Q&A part just to like, make it a presentation only. So then like we can rewatch it and everything. But
Yeah, I was gonna basically make it 2 parts, and part 1 the presentation, and then part 2 Q&A.
perfect. That would be great. That would be awesome.
So wait, so you cut it at after the presentation, and then you still have the Q&A?
Yeah, I have to edit it though because it's
Oh
just
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's good then, because I think the Q&A is really, it's again
Yeah.
the jugular.
Yeah, it's
It's
important.
needed.
Yeah, it's important. But all right, I gotta get off here, guys. It was super nice to do this, and I'm looking forward to Sukkot and then also Shabbat.
Yes. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. This was great.
let me say a quick prayer before everybody
Yes.
goes, if that's okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
please.
Father Abba Yahuwah, thank you for bringing us together in fellowship and understanding, and help us to recognize the areas that we personally need to work on and the areas we need to correct in things we've spoken or thought or believed in the past. And all praise to you, Father. Without you, none of us would have the strength or endurance. And all these trials and tribulations, they've only strengthened everything. Just like gold refined in the fire. And we appreciate everything you do, and we just ask that you please continue to guide us all. Help us to continue to work together and study things out together. And I pray it in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Let it be so.
Let it be so.
Amen.
All praise to the Most High.
Praise Yah. Thank you again so much, you guys.
Yes.
Thank you.
Such a blessing.
Glad my family's all back together.
Hey,
Hallelujah.
hallelujah.
Sometimes
Right?
there are
Sure.
sparks when our ironing is sharpening others. There's a
Hey,
little bit of
Greg,
Yeah.
you
spark.
said it. Hallelujah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just
Mm-hmm.
remember, we are not butter knife people.
Yeah,
That's
thank you,
right.
Abba. Praise you. Praise your name.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he's good. So good.
Yeah. We'll have our fellowship tomorrow as well. But I'm
Okay,
not sure.
okay, for the high Sabbath. Nice. What
Yeah.
time, Jeremy?
I'm not sure yet.
All right, I'll play some
I'll figure
music.
it out.
There you
Sounds
go.
good.
Start with music and shofar blowing.
Yeah.
Okay. Night,
All right.
guys.
Good
Shalom.
night,
Good night,
everyone. Love you.
everybody.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.